I can tell you all day how beautiful and amazing and smart and talented you are, but if you don't believe it, that it just doesn't matter. You need to believe it. And for those of you who don't think that about yourself, go change things about your life so you can start thinking that about yourself. If you're sitting and rotting in bed all day, you're letting yourself be in toxic relationships, you let people treat you poorly, you do nothing with your time, you aren't active, you're not studying or using your mind for anything, of course you're gonna think lowly of yourself. Go change these aspects about your life so you can start thinking highly of yourself. Because if you don't think highly of yourself, nobody else will. Hey guys, welcome back to the Veda Mindset Podcast. Today's episode is going to be an encouragement episode, a pep talk. So if you are feeling upset, sad, insecure, then this episode is for you. I just want to start off by saying that people will project their inner insecurities onto you. And if you're in a really insecure spot or you are lacking belief in yourself, you are going to just adopt the beliefs that these people around you are trying to impose on you. These people are going to project their insecurities onto you and you're just going to believe them. You know, it's really easy to listen to someone, especially like if you're going to someone for advice and then the advice they give you is so just not in alignment with what you needed to hear, or they are coming from such an insecure place where if you aren't right with yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, they are going to just make you feel like garbage. Speaking for myself, in my life, I've had people just project their limitations onto me. Tell me that things aren't possible for me, that I can't do certain things, or what I was thinking, which I usually always think in a more positive light. What I was thinking was wrong and it's actually this way and it's in a more negative light. And these people and just end up just projecting their inner insecurities and limitations onto me. And if I am not quick on my feet, I'm just gonna embody what they're telling me to embody, and I don't even agree with it. So that's why I just want to tell you to be careful who you talk to, be careful who you go to for advice, because if you're going to small thinkers, if you're talking to small thinkers who are also insecure, of course the advice they're going to give you is not going to resonate with you, and it's not going to be the answer you truly needed at that time. I get this appalled feeling when I'm talking to certain people, and, I'm expressing my dreams, my interests, or what's going on in my life, and then they shut it down. And it's not like they're trying to demean me, but they reek of insecurity and just lack of belief in themselves that it just radiates onto me. And I just get so appalled and offended. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you would just answer me so negatively in such a negative way. Like, why would you put me down? And that's another thing. When you are a very confident person, when you believe in yourself, you're going to intimidate everyone else around you. People will look at you and be like, why do you have the nerve to carry yourself the way you do, to think the way you do, to act the way you do? Who told you that you could do that? And that's what I've come to realize within myself and in my life. People get thrown off by my energy, by my confidence, because they maybe view it as entitlement. It's not entitlement. It's that I believe in myself and I believe that what I want, I can get. And I need you to have that same attitude because, like I said, if you don't, people will project their inner insecurities onto you and you will believe them. If you don't know who you are or what you're capable of, you will believe what anyone else tells you. And this is the thing. I need you to remember who the fuck you are. You need to remember who you are. And I really try not to curse on here anymore. But no, seriously, you need to remember who the fuck you are. Because if you don't know who you are, the world will tell you who you are and you will believe them. And I realized for myself, I gotta start being more careful with who I talk to about my dreams, goals, aspirations, and personal things going on in my life. Because the moment you open your mouth and you talk to someone who thinks lowly of themselves, they will project it onto you. They will project the way they view themselves onto you. They will tell you that you also need to view yourself lowly and be realistic and not believe in the best. And who are you to believe that this is possible for you? They will do that. It's not going to be as upfront as this, but in their own implicit ways and their implicit attitudes and the things that they're telling you, it's just going to make you want to think small and be insecure just like they are. So I need you to get to a point where you do become so confident in yourself that nobody else's opinion is going to get to you. Nobody else's opinion is going to affect what you believe you're capable of doing. And that's why it's important to surround yourself with big thinkers, because the more you surround yourself with small-minded people, the more they're gonna rub off on you. But listen, at the end of the day, it never matters what anyone thinks about you or what you're capable of. Because if you truly believe in yourself, the opinions and the thoughts of everyone else are just gonna go mute. You're not gonna care about what anyone else has to say about you. You're no longer going to go to others for validation because you know you could seek it from yourself. Because if you constantly care about what everyone else thinks about you and what everyone else believes you're capable of, you are literally putting your potential in the hands of everyone else around you. And putting your potential in the hands of everyone else around you is literally going to limit you so much. You're never going to reach your success and these amazing goals you want to achieve because you are living through the lens of everyone else's limitations. You are living through the lens of everyone else's insecurities and opinions of you. Is it good to get feedback? Is it good to gauge, people's thoughts about you in your life? Yeah, maybe coming from someone who is ambitious like you. You don't need to know small thinkers' opinions. You don't need to know insecure people's opinions of you. You don't. Honestly, kind of view these little insecure small thinkers like flies, like these little annoying bugs that I'm trying to just shoo away because they are always buzzing. They're always saying insecure things. They're always, perpetuating this small thinking narrative, this be realistic narrative, and it gets to you. If you're around these people enough, it genuinely gets to you. And I get so I get irritated around these people because I don't want to hear what you have to say. I don't want to hear the limitations. I don't want to have to hear your small thinking mind. I don't want to have to hear you talk about your insecurities and why you believe that I can't make it with what I want to do. I don't need to hear you. It actually pisses me off because I've genuinely had people verbatim tell me that things I want to do aren't possible for me. And if anything, that kind of fuels me a bit more to prove everyone wrong. At the end of the day, I know that when these people are saying this to me, I don't think they're trying to insult me. I genuinely think they're just projecting what they believe is possible for them. And they don't believe anything is possible for them, so they're going to tell me that nothing is possible for me. And you need to be careful with these types of people. That's why I say, be careful who you're telling your personal dreams and aspirations to. Be careful who you're telling your problems to, because if you're talking to small thinkers and insecure people, they will make you be just as insecure as them. Once you realize how great you are and how capable you are, you won't need all the opinions of everyone else around you. You won't need the world to validate you. You will validate yourself. And I need you to get to that point. I need you to start believing in how great you are, believing in your worth and your value, so that you aren't constantly chasing people for their opinions and validations to feel secure in yourself. You need to take people's opinions of you off of the pedestal. The only opinion of you that matters is the opinion you have of yourself. And don't lose common sense here. Of course, your family or people that you do look up to, their opinions matter as well. But coming down to the root of it, if you like yourself, that is all that matters. If you believe in yourself, that is all that matters. If you are secure in yourself, that is all that matters. Because the thing is, when you're not secure in yourself and you don't like yourself, that is why you are constantly seeking out the validation of everyone else around you. You're always thinking, oh my God, they didn't text me back. Oh my God, did they want to be my friend? Oh my God, do they like me? You're always in that thought process because you don't believe in yourself, you don't like yourself, you're not secure in yourself. Because I promise you, the day you do become secure in yourself, you're not gonna care. You're not gonna care one bit because you know that you're the shit. That rhymed. I did not mean for that to rhyme. You're not gonna care because you believe in yourself so much that if anything, if people don't follow up, people don't come through, they don't text you back, all right, you're just devaluing your own life if you don't want me in it. That's the attitude you need to come with. And I mean, another thought process you can take is nothing's ever that personal. Sometimes we fixate on people's actions and people's attitude towards us. And in reality, it had nothing to do with us. Like, they were just busy. They had shit going on. Things in their life were taking up their time. And maybe that caused them to not reach out or not show up the way they usually do. Sometimes it's really not that personal, but when we're really insecure and we have a lot of doubts about ourselves, we are easily offended and we take everything personally. And one of the best things you can learn is to stop taking things personally. Not everything is about you, and not everyone is trying to hurt your feelings. It just becomes so easy to take things personally and get all insulted when you don't believe in yourself, when you aren't secure in yourself. And that's why I need you to become secure in yourself. And I need you to start believing in yourself. I need you to realize how worthy you are without the validation of everyone else around you. But how do you actually reach that? Like, how do you actually become confident in yourself where you're no longer in this desperate energy? Because I'll tell you, we can tell when you reek of desperation. That's why you repel people. So what do you have to do to get out of that? People will tell you, oh, the superficial stuff, like, get pretty, like dress nice, like smell good, go to the gym, tell yourself affirmations, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, that's the basic cookie cutter, like superficial advice. I'm not going to tell you that. Not saying that those things don't work. Of course they do work, but that's not reaching the root, That's only going to suffice for so long. There are so many beautiful people who are so talented, and I've met them. I've literally seen these beautiful, talented people who look like they got it all. And they still don't see their worth. They still settle for bare minimum. They still settle for mediocrity. So why is that? How can we actually get out of this desperate energy, get out of this lack, and stop settling for mediocrity and caring so much about what people think about us? How do we actually get out of this insecure persona? One sure way, in my opinion, to start getting out of this insecure persona is to start focusing on yourself and what you want to do with your life. There's nothing more attractive than a person who genuinely chased after their dreams and aspirations and is focused on that. These people who genuinely chase after their dreams and these goals that they have, they inevitably start putting a lot of attention on themselves and on their goals and their endeavors and what they want to do. These people who are very focused on chasing their dreams and aspirations end up becoming very focused on themselves, and for a period of time may mute out the world around them. And usually, I say that it's energy. When you don't care, that's when everyone gravitates towards you. But you get into that energy when you're really focusing on yourself and on your career and your aspiration and your goals and what you want to do in your lifetime. This is you pouring into yourself. When you start pouring into yourself, you inevitably become more confident and more secure, and people become gravitated towards you. People want to be around you when you're focusing on yourself. And I really stress this, focusing on what your actual goals and your career and what you want out of life is, because a lot of people spend so much time like on dating apps, or they want attention from people, and they just want to be taken out on dates, and they just want relationships, and that's not filling you. Like, I get it, maybe depending on what time you're in your life, but if you know that you've done zero soul searching, why are you going to fill your time up with more dating? What is that going to do for you? And I know what it's going to do for you. You're looking for validation. You're looking for some attention. And I'm trying to tell you that that's not helping you. It's actually making you more of a desperate person who everyone is repelled from. To actually get sustainable validation is by doing things like chasing your dreams and chasing your goals. And if you don't know what your dreams and your goals are, go find out. You don't know what your dreams and your goals are because you're going on dates too much. That's probably why. Like, you're just hanging out with people just to get attention, or hanging out with friends who add nothing to your life, and that's why you don't know what your dreams and goals are. So I would say, like, that should be your first priority in trying to become a more confident, secure person in yourself. Another way to get out of this insecurity, this insecure persona, is getting clear on your values, who you are, what you will not accept in your life. Because when you don't have clear values, clear boundaries, you will just settle for anything, any treatment, any sort of mediocre friends who treat you poorly, any sort of romantic partner. You will just settle for anything because you don't know what your boundaries are. You don't know what your values are. You don't know what you should accept or what you don't want to accept. When I think of an insecure person, I think of a person who has no real opinions, values, standards. Like, they just go with the flow on everything, and then they wonder why their life is mediocre. I actually really, really value opinionated people. People who know what they believe in and know what they want out of life and know what they are willing to accept in life. Because that is a trait that people who are insecure need. To get out of this insecure persona, you need to become more hard-headed, more stubborn, and more sure of who you are and what you believe you deserve. For me, I know who I am, I know what I deserve, and I'm loud about it. And it repels anyone who is not willing to reach my standards. And I don't mind. I don't care. Those people's opinions of me don't matter because I value myself. I never needed anyone else's opinions or validation in the first place. And so once you become stubborn with believing in who you are and believing in what you have to offer, and really setting boundaries and standards and just upholding values, this will affect the people you let into your life. This will affect who you take advice from. This will affect how sensitive you are to other people's actions and opinions of you. Because once you finally realize who you are and you believe in your worth and you're secure in yourself and you have, strong opinions, you have strong standards, you have expectations, and you're not quiet about it, you are allowing yourself to be opinionated about it. That is when everything will change for you. You become so much more confident, and people will know that they honestly can't fuck with you. They can't mess around with you. And if they say something that reeks of insecurity, or they say something to you that you don't agree with, you will say, I don't agree with you, or that what you said doesn't align with what I actually believe. You will stand up for yourself more. You will be able to not take in just anyone's opinions. You'll be able to mitigate through these things because you're so established in who you believe you are and what you believe you're capable of. You have clear values, clear goals, and you're opinionated about it. So everyone else's opinions, it's going to be harder for other people's opinions to penetrate through to you. You don't want other people's opinions to always penetrate through to you, because sometimes people say things that are outright wrong, outright limiting, outright hurtful. But when you are so confident in yourself, no one's words or limitations can really affect you. And this goes back to not allowing people to project their insecurities onto you. Because like I said, I've had people do it to me. And if I wasn't so confident and sure in myself, I would believe them. I would become just like them. And when you become this way, when you become so confident and unapologetic about what you think, that's what I want you to get to. I want you to become unapologetic about your thoughts and your opinions and your standards and your expectations. Because yes, sometimes it will intimidate people, it will make people feel uncomfortable, even to the point where they might insult you or they might put you down because you're making them uncomfortable. They're not used to someone as confident as you. It could do that, or what it could do is inspire people to also become like that. Become confident, become secure in yourself, become stubborn about what you believe and what you want. When you are loud about your confidence and your expectations, it gives other people around you the permission to do the same. They will look at you and be like, oh wow, you believe in yourself this much? You're that confident? I wonder what's stopping me from being like that too. You become inspiration for people around you. People who are insufferable and sit in their pain and sorrow and make being insecure their whole personality trait, of course you're not going to inspire those people. Of course those people are going to be haters. Haters are the most insecure people out there, guys. People who always are picking at you, picking at people's flaws, always trying to insult everyone. Those haters, yeah, they hate themselves. Just letting you guys know, because I know you guys probably have friends who are haters, know people who are haters. Those people hate themselves. They're just projecting it outward. What else are they supposed to do with all that hate? That they hate themselves so much, they gotta project it somewhere. So of course, yes, like when you start shining and you become so confident in yourself and you're unapologetic about it, you will ruffle people's feathers. You will make people feel really uncomfortable. You will, come across people who try to put you down or make you second guess yourself. But it's because they see something in you. I said this in a previous TikTok, but people wouldn't be putting you down if they didn't see something in you. Why would they kick you if you're already on the floor? They see something in you, they see that light in you, and it's making them really uncomfortable. So they will try to insult you, they will try to hate on you. I get hate all the fucking time, guys. Like I have people like commenting the most like random insults, and it's just like, what did I do to you? What did I do to you to receive that? And at the end of the day, it's just like when people see something in you and they're not as confident as you, it makes them feel really upset and jealous, and they want to strip that away from you. They want to strip your confidence because they're like, how do you have the nerve? You're so entitled to think the way you do. If I'm so entitled, then so be it. If me being confident is entitlement, I'd rather be on this end than be on the insecure, insufferable end. But again, you won't just come across haters when you're like this. You will come across people who are inspired by you, and they see how unapologetic and authentic you are, and you are only helping people become more confident by you showing up that way. Don't be sorry about it. Don't be sorry about your standards and expectations and your belief in yourself. Display it boldly, loudly. proudly. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the hate you get. Doesn't matter how you make people feel uncomfortable or intimidated. That's their problem to deal with. Other people will see you as inspiration and they will, use that as fuel to do the same thing for themselves. Another way you can get out of this like insecure persona is stop settling for mediocrity. Stop settling for mediocre friends, mediocre relationships, mediocre situations, mediocre anything. If it isn't what you want, you don't need to have it. You can move past it. You can let it go so you can seek out something that is actually going to benefit you. When you're constantly settling for mediocrity, you're constantly settling for the next best thing, you are holding on to something and you actually want something else, but you're holding on to this. How do you actually think you're ever gonna get what you truly want by holding on to something that's the next best thing? That's half-assed, that's crumbs, it's mediocre. How would you ever reach your goals and your dreams and all these things that you want out of life if you are constantly settling for the bare minimum? Seriously, think about it. I have so many people tell me like, I want this in a guy and I want this and this type of friend and I want this for the people in my life, but you're constantly settling for the people who are just so not, they don't even reach half of your standards. And maybe some of you guys don't even have standards. That's a whole nother conversation. You gotta get clear on what your standards are. What I said previously, get clear on what your boundaries, values, and standards are. But the thing is, you guys need to get sick of mediocrity, sick of mediocre relationships and friendships, because of course that's gonna make you feel like more of an insecure person. You're never receiving what you truly want. So then you think, oh, like this is all that I'm worth, and that's not true. But you don't get what you want first and then realize, oh yeah, I am so worthy. I am worthy of this. That's not how it works. You have to believe you're worthy. You have to be confident in yourself. You have to ignore everything that isn't what you want. Does that mean you might be lonely for some time? Yeah. Is that really a big issue in the grand scheme of things? No, it's not that big of an issue. Learn how to be alone, guys. Learn how to stop settling. And I'm not saying this like, oh my God, yeah, being alone is so great. Like, I'm not gonna give you some fake response. I get it. It's lonely, guys. Sometimes it's lonely when you're alone and you don't have, certain friends or that relationship you want. Yes, it's hard. But you know what's harder? Always settling for the bare minimum. Always settling for people who are never gonna meet your standards and expectations, who are never gonna treat you the way you deserve. In my opinion, that's way worse than being alone for a certain season while trying to navigate who you genuinely want in your life. Settling for the bare minimum is always worse than being alone. And I know sometimes people don't agree with me. Like, people will be like, no, I rather fill up time and space in my life with mediocre relationships because I can't handle being alone, because being alone is worse. That is not a good mindset. Because that's gonna breed way more insecurity. Like, yeah, like maybe you have people, maybe you do have, that relationship, but now you are more insecure, you have more baggage, more trauma, when you could have just been on your own until you did find people who reached your expectations. But yeah, you guys need to stop settling for mediocrity. Anything that isn't reaching your expectations, move along. It takes a certain amount of dedication to move this way, because I know sometimes emotions get in the way, our insecurities get in the way, and we just want to accept what is in front of us sometimes, because like I said, we don't want to be alone. But it takes a certain amount of dedication to just what you actually want. If it's not actually what you want, then you need to keep moving forward. You're not going to be alone forever. You are going to meet good friends, good romantic partners who will give you what you need and more. But you're never going to connect with those people if you're constantly consuming your time with everyone else, with all the mediocre people, with all the people who never reach your expectations and standards. I would say the best way to meet people is by diving headfirst into your aspirations. Like I said before, when you dive headfirst into your aspirations, you will eventually meet people that you connect with, people that you end up really caring for. When you're not focusing on yourself and your aspirations and what you want to do with your life, of course, you're always going to meet people who are like you. You're going to meet people who mirror you. If you aren't focused, all the people you're going to connect with are going to be unfocused people. Because guess what? People who are focused would never look at someone like you. What is there to notice about you if you aren't doing anything for yourself? Listen, I truly need you to ask yourself, what is it about you that people should notice? What are you doing with your time where people should want to engage with you? Because if you're doing nothing with your time, if you are just coasting and all you care about is the validation of everyone else, of course you're going to be met with mediocre relationships and mediocre friendships. Do something with yourself. Do something with your time. Go chase after your dreams. Go read a book. Go learn about yourself. Go create some depth to yourself. That's how you're going to meet people who are actually quality people. And for those of you who already have been doing that, you guys know that you are chasing your dreams, chasing your goals. You do know who you are. You have standards. You have expectations. You're doing everything right. Then at that point, there's nothing else to change other than keeping your chin up and keep moving forward. If anything, you guys have to worry about not settling for mediocrity, because when you are chasing after dreams and goals, you may get a bunch of people trying to reach you, and some of them aren't going to meet your standards. They're not going to meet your expectations. And you need to be careful who you do give your time to. You need to really gauge who is deserving of your time and attention. The people who are wishy-washy, flaky, don't show up for you, do you think those people are deserving of you, of your full friendship or of your full relationship to them? Are they deserving of you? No, I don't think so. You need to be careful who you are giving yourself to, opening up your heart to. Because like I said, when you are really focused on yourself, when you are doing, I would say, everything on paper, you're doing everything right, you are going to attract people, but not everyone is going to be able to meet you where you're at. So you got to be careful who you allow to take up your time and focus. At the end of the day, building up confidence and getting rid of this insecure persona and really knowing your worth and staying true to who you are, it gets to an energetic level, because you can't kid energy. You can say you're all this and that, but if deep down you don't feel that way, it's gonna come out in slight behaviors, in things you accept, and people can feel your energy. When you truly become confident and secure and know your worth, everyone around you can feel it. It won't be anything you need to prove. It won't be anything you have to tell people. It's just people can see how you are because you're just showing up that way and you're unapologetic about it. And I want you to get to that point. Stop settling for mediocrity. Don't let people project their insecurities onto you. Get clear on what you want out of life and what you want for yourself. Get real clear about it. If that means you have to go and write on paper what you are not willing to accept, do that. And start showing up this way every single day. Is it a lonely road sometimes? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. And I will tell you from experience, because like I said, I've been on both ends. I've settled for mediocrity, and I've also been in lonely seasons. I've also had great quality connections. The lonely seasons are worth it. I will never go back to the person who is just constantly settling for mediocrity, constantly settling for people just so I'm not alone, constantly letting people treat me bad because I don't want to be all alone and I just want people to be around me. I will never go back to that. When people are ready to treat me with the respect and admiration that I deserve, then you can come into my life. Otherwise, I don't care. And that's what you need to get to. You need to get to that point because I don't want you guys settling for anything. I don't want you guys settling for people who treat you poorly. If they're gonna treat you poorly, tell them to leave. Get out of my life. If people are gonna be flaky on you, okay, move along. You don't need that type of person in your life anyway. My sister actually told me this one thing, and I actually keep thinking about it, and I really love this metaphor, and it really helps me. Listen, you're a prize. People want prizes. Start treating yourself as such. You are a fucking prize. Are prizes just given to just anyone? Do people ignore prizes? No. People want prizes. People are excited about prizes, but they're not given to just anyone. Start seeing yourself like that. If you don't realize that you're a prize, who else is going to look at you that way? No one. No one is going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. That's why you can't wait for the validation of the world. You got to validate yourself. Once you validate yourself, everything changes. I can tell you all day how beautiful and amazing and smart and talented you are, but if you don't believe it, that it just doesn't matter. You need to believe it. And for those of you who don't think that about yourself, go change things about your life so you can start thinking that about yourself. If you're sitting and rotting in bed all day, you're letting yourself be in toxic relationships, you let people treat you poorly, you do nothing with your time, you aren't active, you're not studying or using your mind for anything, of course you're gonna think lowly of yourself. Go change these aspects about your life so you can start thinking highly of yourself. Because if you don't think highly of yourself, nobody else will. You set the tone for how people treat you. You set the tone for how events unfold in your life. Stop caring about the opinions of others, especially in the face of, I would say, rejection in quotation marks, because it's just like, I don't like to think I'm rejected by anyone. It's just sometimes like you don't fit the criteria of what people want. But even in the face of rejection, it doesn't fucking matter. You don't need to make that mean anything about your worth and your value. And when they say rejection, it's redirection, yeah, that's cliche, but it's genuinely true. When one door closes, 10 more open. And you need to realize that. I hope this pep talk helped you. And I hope you gained some insight from it. I have so much fun talking about these things. I wish I had you guys in front of me so we could have like a whole conversation about it. But I genuinely love encouraging you guys. And I hope this episode resonated with those of you who were in need of it. I needed to give you guys a wake-up call. I hope this episode was your wake-up call to realize who the fuck you are. I'm gonna end this episode here. If you guys want to see more of me, go ahead and follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. I will leave that in the description. If you guys want more advice on different aspects, you guys can comment, you guys can DM me, and I'm willing to give advice on anything you guys need. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much.